What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Khabib believes time is catching up to top-ranked fighters. UFC Hall of Famer Khabib Nurmagomedov has been enjoying his retirement, simultaneously training the next generation of Dagestani fighters while also promoting his Eagle FC promotion. Given that he left the sport on top, the Eagle has continued to find himself on the receiving end of callouts and rumors as both fighters and fans hope for a return to the octagon. Although he has maintained that he has no plans to return to competition, the former lightweight kingpin has continued to keep a close eye on the UFC. Recently, he spoke in an interview to reiterate his beliefs that fighters have a very small window where they could compete at their physical peak. Nurmagomedov controversially refuted claims last year that Jose Aldo was experiencing a career resurgence at bantamweight, before then doubling down on the comments recently after Aldo dropped a decision win to Merab Dvalishvili at UFC 278. Take any fighter who fought when I fought in the UFC when I was in my prime, say from 2015 to 2020. None of them is still up there on top. My time is over, same for them, but they still keep fighting. I believe they just fight for money. Nurmagomedov went on to reference notable top-ranked prospects Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier before then shifting gears to discuss Kamaru Usman's recent performances, stating that the Nigerian Nightmare had been progressively less impressive in his title defenses as he got older, leading up to his knockout loss to Leon Edwards at UFC 278. Do you agree with Nurmagomedov, or do you think that fighters like Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, and Tony Ferguson can find success inside the octagon once again? Give us your thoughts in the comment section down below. Henry Cejudo and Conor McGregor trade shots once again. The ongoing feud between former champs Conor McGregor and Henry Cejudo continued this week after Cejudo took some time to dissect recent training footage from McGregor. The Irish superstar has continued to post footage of himself training around the world as he recovers from the broken leg he sustained in the main event of UFC 264 last year. While fans anxiously await the Notorious's return to the octagon, they've been left with little more than footage of McGregor hitting pads to go off of when assessing where he is in the comeback process. According to Henry Cejudo, who has been in the USADA testing pool in preparation for a return to the octagon, the footage McGregor has been posting hasn't even been good. As Triple C puts it, McGregor is throwing naked shots, simply firing off strike after strike without focusing on the nuances of entering and exiting the pocket, feinting, or even disguising power punches and combinations. Cejudo, among other internet users, was quick to point out that pads don't hit back, and no amount of pad work can replace proper drilling. In a video posted to his YouTube this week titled "Why Conor McGregor Sucks," he explained,
"It almost sounds like a lot of times that I'm picking on Conor. Maybe I am just a little, but I do have to nitpick him. And it's the same reason why I became the best in the world. It's the same reason why, ladies and gentlemen, I became the Triple C."
Unsurprisingly, McGregor was quick to respond to Triple C on Twitter, calling for Cejudo to post his own training footage before doubling down on a claim that he has made on more than one occasion, that he is the greatest of all time. According to McGregor's manager, the former champ is on track for a 2023 return to the octagon. When he is ready to return, who do you want to see him fight? Give us your thoughts in the comments section below. Next up, Dana White fires back at Chael Sonnen over Leon Edwards' criticism. In the main event of UFC 278, then champion Kamaru Usman caught quite a bit of flack online for his actions during the fight. On more than one occasion, Usman could be seen either grabbing the fence or sticking his fingers in Leon Edwards' gloves. In addition, fans were also quick to accuse Usman of exaggerating a low blow that landed on the waistline, suggesting that the champ embellished the severity of the blow in order to get himself time to recover. After the fight, while many praised Edwards for his ability to secure the win despite Usman's infractions, former middleweight title challenger Chael Sonnen was criticizing the newly crowned champ for his own fair share of rule breaking in the scrap. As Sonnen put it, Edwards' own fence grabs prevented him from being put in an unfavorable position on the ground and could very well have contributed to him being ultimately able to get the 5th round knockout. Those comments didn't sit too well with UFC President Dana White, who spoke to media members after this week's Dana White's Contender Series card, saying,
"Became champion with a head kick. He didn't win by grabbing the fence. You know, that's completely unfair of Chael Sonnen to say that. That kid sucked it up, dug down deep, and landed literally the perfect head kick with like a minute left to the fight. So I would say that that's silly, ridiculous, and absolutely unfair to say about Leon."
So far, no response yet from Sonnen. However, given his reputation as one of the greatest trash talkers in the history of the sport, it's unlikely that the bad guy from the mean streets of Westland, Oregon will let White's comments go unchecked. Do you think Edwards' fence grabbing played any role in the fight? Give us your thoughts in the comments section down below. And before we continue, make sure you give that like button some love and be sure to subscribe to the MMA Zone for all of the latest news. Paddy Pimblett gives update on his current weight. Although Paddy Pimblett is without a doubt one of the hottest young prospects in the UFC, the baddie's actions outside of the octagon have continued to spark concern. On a recent episode of Steve O's Wild Ride, Pimblett joined the Jackass legend to talk about all things MMA related, including his current weight. During the podcast, Pimblett stepped onto a scale to weigh in, coming in at a whopping 206 pounds. At his current weight, Pimblett would miss the 155-pound lightweight limit where he normally fights by 40 pounds, making him a light heavyweight by the UFC standards. This lines up with what Pimblett told media members several weeks ago, where he surmised that he currently weighs somewhere around 200 pounds. Despite his seemingly careless attitude towards the situation, Pimblett's out-of-camp weight has continued to make headlines as fighters have repeatedly cautioned him against the dangers of cutting so much weight during training camp. Recently, UFC featherweight champion and arguable pound-for-pound kingpin Alexander Volkanovski spoke to discuss the situation, citing his own experience with massive weight cuts as the reason he's concerned for Pimblett. Volkanovski, who notoriously used to weigh upwards of 200 pounds during his days as a professional rugby player, explained that he had to get his walk-around weight down in order to make his weight cuts easier and ensure his longevity in the sport, something that he suggested the baddie also do. While Pimblett has missed weight before over the course of his career, he has made weight for all 3 of his scheduled UFC bouts, going as far as to moon those in attendance for their comments regarding his weight. And now for the breaking news, we have Conor McGregor landing himself in trouble with the law again. This time, a woman allegedly claims she was partying on his triple-decker yacht on his birthday, July 17th, when she was assaulted and sustained head trauma and bruising. Though the law enforcement agency in Spain, La Guardia Civil, have ruled out that the perpetrator was Conor McGregor himself or that he was even involved in the incident, since this happened on his yacht, he could be sued for medical bills and whatever else they decide to add in there. Maybe Conor needs a little more training and a little less partying. What do you think about this? Let us know in the comment section down below. Next up, update on Jorge Masvidal's assault case. This just in, we have an update on top-ranked UFC welterweight contender Jorge Masvidal's ongoing legal case stemming from his alleged assault on bitter rival Colby Covington earlier this summer. According to reports from MMA Junkie, during a pre-trial hearing this week, a Florida judge granted a continuance in the case, pushing the start date of the trial back several months until December 5th. Only time will tell what the future holds for Masvidal and if his ongoing legal problems will delay the BMF's plan to return to the cage to snap his 3-fight skid. Thanks so much for joining us today. What do you make of what's going on in the fight world? Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all the latest news from the MMA Zone. See you next time.